Hey everybody, Culturedog Sam Hatch back here with another Blu-ray Spotlight review. If you saw my Species Laserdisc review and my Species 2 Blu-ray review, you'll know that this is gonna happen. It's inevitable. Yes, early in March, Scream Factory released a double feature drop of the straight-to-video / cable releases Species 2 and Species: The Awakening. So yeah, these suckers got dropped in our laps in the early to mid 2000s. I had never checked them out until now. I barely even knew they were out there. But again, once you have a franchise, it's funny they talk about this as a franchise, but I don't know, it was just kind of a franchise through will alone. I don't know if the first two movies really merited that many sequels, but we have them. And Species 3 is a film that vaguely builds on the second film. It does include some of the goofier stuff from that finale that Chris Brancato hated, and it does wrap up almost immediately thereafter with Natasha Henstridge appearing briefly in the film, and she's giving birth to another girl. This one's eventually named Sarah, played by Sunny Mabry, and there's a whole bunch of wacky stuff that goes on shortly thereafter, and the driver of the vehicle gets involved, and come to find out, he's a college professor in love with the concept of different species and bacteria and viruses and everything like that are wrongly maligned by humanity, and maybe it's humanity's job to just die and get killed by these superior creatures. And he's thrown into the world of species because now he's trying to raise this girl essentially as his own, and one of his students gets involved. There's a whole lot of low-budget shenanigans going on and a very minimum amount of sets, usually at his house and his basement at the college, etc. So nothing that driving or intense, but it does make the goofy kind of inclusion of a bunch of other half-breed species. If you saw the second film, there was a character that was trying to breed and create this whole kind of army, basically, of these half-breed species children. And if you listen to Chris Brancato talk, he goes out of his way to specifically mention that he wanted a very accurate count of what was going on with these characters, and there was an idea to maybe have one of them out loose at the end of the film, and he was saying, well, that just means that our hero characters are complete idiots, that they can't do their job, that they went to wipe these things out and completely missed like 5 of them or something. So the fact that he went through all that trouble to really kind of nail that down and seal all those avenues of escape. In this film, they're like, oh yeah, there's even a little bit of a talk radio bit early on where they foolishly attempt to kind of bring this into more X-Files-y territories with, oh yeah, they're out there. It's like, no, they're not out there. They shouldn't be out there. Everything was well accounted for up to now. So now there's just random half-breed species guys out there left and right. So I mean, one of them is slightly explained, and then, it's just sloppy writing, and it's not really that intriguing. But yeah, so it's about this professor and his student and this pseudo-daughter of his while she learns what she is and kills a couple people. And other people are trying to get at her to specify. And it gets a little tedious, and then it turns almost into another movie altogether halfway through, where this roommate character of the main guy has this encounter online with another woman who's hunting down the young species girl from this. So she's another threat that rolls into town. It really just feels like 2 episodes of a unused pilot, or the first 2 episodes of a TV show that never got greenlit. And special effects are okay. There's a few interesting bits where somebody's head gets, a hole punched through it, and a few other kills that are okay, but not as cool as the second film, and the whole thing just has a straight-to-TV kind of vibe. There's really nothing that amazing visually. It's just one of those things that you would see when you were flipping through the Sci-Fi Channel, and you go, I guess I'll watch this for a little while. And then you do, and you're like, is that still on? Like, is that girl? Oh, she's still alive? That guy's dead. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, nothing too amazing. Then you move into Species: The Awakening, which is a few years later. And Ben Cross is in it, which is kind of cool because, Chariot's a Fire dude. And, of course, he was in the Dark Shadows remake that I was a big fan of. Dan Curtis did in the early 90s. So it's pretty cool having Ben Cross in it. And you figure, wow, what was he doing that they got him involved with Species, The Awakening? But Helena Matson, who plays the Species girl in this film, because, of course, Natasha Henstridge is now long gone. She's actually pretty decent. Apparently she's on American Horror Story, which I haven't caught up with yet. But she's okay. Her character's a little ill-defined. At the beginning, she's this very cartoonish sex pot college professor type. And in the next scene, she's like a teenage girl. So, I don't know, it's wishy-washy. And, of course, she's a genius. So Oxford is calling for her to move to London. It's like, yeah, no, Oxford didn't call. Oxford doesn't want you to go there. It's just, I call movie BS right away. But anyways, her uncle is played by Ben Cross, and almost immediately, it sets up a very Lethal Weapon-esque kind of thing. I'm surprised she didn't say she's about to retire. But it's like, I'm going to go out on a date. I'm going to do this. Oh, everything's awesome. And everything's not awesome. Everything's going to go horribly quickly. And, come to find out, she may or may not be slightly alien. And again, from what? He was involved in the first experiment, and I don't know. Again, there's all these loose ends where just species DNA's out there somewhere. Yeah, this guy had it. Don't ask too many questions. So quickly, Ben Cross decides, I got to take my young murderous girl on the road, head down to Mexico, and find the guy that I was once teamed up with. And we delved into all sorts of dark biology and messed with DNA and created these creatures. Overall, it's pretty tedious. He just goes to Texas, meets this guy, meets his other, henchwoman species creature. They really kind of make the girls in this that have the alien virus look more like vampires than anything else. So it seems to be confused and think it's a vampire movie that's also an alien creature movie. Meanwhile, she's out there, looking for love in all the wrong places, and there were a couple good kills, etc. But there's a lot of CG kills that, with tongues flying across rooms and poking out people's eyes and wiggling around. And it's just, it's funny how bad practical effects always look better. Even if they're really bad, they always look better than CG stuff that tries to push the envelope too far. If you try and push the digital blood too much, you could just tell it's just a person standing there like this while they add a bunch of crazy tentacles and stuff coming out there. But yeah, if it was a horribly made practical effect tentacle, it would have more impact just because it's real and it's something there. There's something about it. If it's not done well enough, just the illusion just falls apart. Everything just crumbles. And there's a lot of that in this, unfortunately. But, directing-wise, it was better than the previous one. Striking colors. It's actually a pretty gorgeous film. Again, shot on video, and some of the stuff does look a little hokey with the motion. But yeah, gorgeous colors. It is not just all orange and teal, which is, obviously everybody's favorite color palette. There's a lot of other primary colors in there and stuff that is just really striking. So I was impressed with that. So yeah, video quality on these are fine. They're all shot digitally. They look okay. Nothing too amazing, but I did like the look of the fourth film more than the third one. The third one's a little bit more drab looking and nothing really stood out. So the colors of the fourth one really pop. Audio quality, again, not too bad. A little bit more active in this rounds than I anticipated. But again, it's just there, just stuff that you would rent or just trip across on cable, not really reference material. Special features, there are a few decent ones. The first one's got audio commentary with the director, Brad Turner, the writer, Ben Ripley, and the actress, Robin Dunn. And it's funny because they actually come at it, you almost want to kind of laugh at it because they come at it like this is a really great movie and the story is amazing and compelling. So you almost kind of want to sneer at it because it's not. But on the other hand, it's cool that they actually all seem to think that they put together this really solid film and that they're standing behind it. And they're like, yeah, this is great. So, yeah, maybe they're full of it. But even if they're not, it's kind of cool and a little bit refreshing that they're that earnest about it. It does have a couple featurettes, which are actually the original featurettes that came out when it first dropped on DVD. So in that regard, they're not as exciting as the Species 2 featurettes because there's not that retrospective angle to it. There's nobody like thinking about, oh yeah, I made this when I was young and I didn't know any better. And it's all very, this movie is going to save the world. It's the best, most amazing new Species feature from the world famous Species franchise. Species, Species, Species. So yeah, it's a lot of that crap. But pretty cool. I mean, at least they carried that over. It's got the original trailer. And then The Awakening has a little bit less. There's an interview with the director, Nick Lyon, in there. And interview with the actress, Helen Madsen. So, cool enough. They're both, widescreen 1.78 to 1. They both got the DTS-HD Master Audio 5.1. And, unrated. Third one's 112 minutes, and the fourth one is 103 minutes. But pretty cool that they actually gave each film their own disc. They didn't cram it all onto one. Oh yeah, one's still in my Blu-ray player. But I like that about it, because it easily could have just junked everything together and really compressed the hell out of it. So, it doesn't have reversible artwork, but it has some cool still shots from inside. But yeah, again, the fourth one had better actors, maybe a slightly better story. The second one was just pretty tedious overall. So I don't think anybody is like, yes, I need these films. And I doubt 20 years from now, it's like, man, I wish I had Species 3 and 4. But if you do like them, they're available for you. Check them out. See what you think. And thanks for hanging out and talking Species. As far as I know, there's no fifth movie, so we're done for now. Cheers, everybody.